much does a Canadian pay in taxes? Well, sit down because your mind's going to be blowing. Now, you might be a little bit pissed off, so if you don't want to be pissed off, I recommend you not watching this video. But if you're like me, lately, it kind of feels like Canada's a bit of a take monster. I mean, you're working more than ever, everything costs more, you get paid the same, and every month you have a little bit less. I'm going to tell you how much taxes you truly pay in Canada. That is your income tax, CPP, EI, property tax, and all the sneaky taxes that the government sneaks under your nose. Now, we're going to start with a nice round number of $100,000. Now, this is from my pay stub when I worked in the oil patch when I roughly made $100,000. After income tax, CPP, and EI, I roughly paid 38%. So that leaves me with $62,000. But as of 2024, there's a new CPP, and that is $3,500. So basically, that first CPP you were paying for your whole life, well, that was a waste of money. You're not gonna see that, are you? But let's add that $3,500 onto our 62, which leaves us with $58,500. Now, are you ready for a little thing called GST and PST? I'm gonna do the average of what GST and PST is across all of Canada, and that is roughly 13%. 13% on $58,500 is roughly $7,600, which leaves us with a whopping $50,900. Woo! But I want to get one thing clear here. Here's a great quote from Maya Angelou. If you don't like something, change it. And if you can't change it, change your attitude. Let that roll in your mind for a while. Now let's get to the sneaky hidden taxes. These are the taxes that the government just slips under your nose. Now I had to interrogate the ChatGPT to get this information. And it did not always give me the information, it gave me half the information. So it was kind of a weird thing. So I asked the chat, I want to know what I fully pay in Canadian fuel taxes, and it told me it was around 15%. But after I interrogated it ruthlessly, I found out we pay more like 36% after carbon, federal, and provincial taxes. Now, I pay $600 a month in taxes, which is roughly $7,200. So that brings it out to $2,600. The utilities for my house is roughly $500 a month, which makes it about $6,000 a year. So we're gonna say $2,100. So together, that's $4,700. Now let's subtract that off our $50,900. Now I'm left with roughly $46,000, maybe $46,200. Now I have a house and I have to pay property tax. That's $4,000 a month. Now I'm down to $42,200. Now you are forced to pay for insurance in Canada. In other parts of the world, you are not forced to pay for insurance. So if you're ever forced to pay for something, there's probably a scam in there. Now I asked the ChatGPT how much of government taxes gets pushed onto the customer and the consumer. And it said between 10 to 20%. So we're gonna go right in the middle. So now I pay $300 for my truck insurance. Times that by 12, that's $3,600, 15%, $500. Let's tack it on to the total. So now I'm down to $41,700. Now this is super depressing. I understand. So let's go get some booze and some smokes. This is really gonna blow your mind. So I spend $200 on smokes, and I spend roughly $400 on booze when I go drinking with my buddies. Smokes is a 570% increase for taxes. So that's pretty crazy. So for example, a pack of smokes in Ecuador from Marlboro costs $3, and a pack of smokes in Canada from Marlboro for the same pack costs $20. So there's a huge tax on that. Now it's 570% increase for smokes. That's $165 a month, times that by 12. $2,000 goes to the government, give or take. Now liquor is only 82% is taxable by the government. Not too bad. So out of 400, that's 177 roughly, which leaves me with $2,100. Let's combine those two fun taxes together. That is $4,100. Let's subtract it off to $41,700, which leaves us with $37,600. We're gonna call it $37,000, give or take. Now, this is what is left after all the taxes are paid. That is the taxes. That is not paying utilities. That is not paying for your insurance. That is not paying for any of it. That is what the taxes cost you. And then there's the other taxes that I can't calculate, like when food gets shipped from Vancouver to Edmonton, there's a fuel tax that is taxed upon the company, and that gets pushed upon the consumer, the middle class like you and me, and I cannot calculate that tax. But that is the tax that you need to pay. You still have all the other things you need to pay for. More or less, you are giving 62% of your life to the government, and you get to keep roughly 38% of your life. Oh, that's wild. Now that kind of sounds like slavery to me, but hey, that's just me. So let's break this down on a 40-hour work week. 15 hours belongs to you, and 25 hours belongs to the government. But pay attention to this. So roughly I made that for 10 years, so that is $1 million. So $620,000 goes to the government, but the thing I want you to pay attention to is the 62%. Remember that number. But it's not all bad. I mean, the tax money does go to things. It goes to the homeless. It goes to healthcare, wars, transgender switcheroos. It goes to paying the government and a variety of other things. But let me give you another option here to save some money on taxes. You could always start a business. Now, starting a business is amazing. You take on responsibility, you learn so much, and I highly recommend it. The perks is you get to write things off. So you're gonna pay a whole lot less taxes. You're writing off your insurance, your fuel, all that good stuff, and it's great. But maybe you didn't know, but you're in a partnership with the government. And let's say that business that you have, you grow it to $10 million with your hard-earned sweat and soul. Well, the government gets a thing called capital gains tax, and that is 67%. So if you sold that business for $10 million, the government gets $6.7 million, and you get $3.3 million. So basically the government gets a third of the business and you get 1/3. Remember that 62% of taxes you just paid with your job? Well, you're paying 67 with the business. I guess starting a business isn't a great idea either. Darn, but here's where things start to blow your mind. So you just paid all these taxes and you're left with, let's say, $37,000. And you need ice cream, and you take that $37,000 and you give it to the ice cream man. Well, he's gonna pay tax on that as well. And then what he's gonna do, because he needs to buy more cream to make more ice cream, he's gonna give it to the cream man, and he's gonna pay taxes on that as well. And what blows my mind is how many times does a dollar get taxed? I don't know, but it's crazy. Now, this isn't an attack on Canada. This is just the truth. This is what you pay in taxes. 62% of your life goes to taxes. Now, the most important thing to me is my time. It's the one thing I cannot make more of. And the thing is, these taxes are going to things that I don't believe in. And it's my God-given right to say that. I don't believe in giving money to wars where young men that don't know each other kill young men, so billionaires that do know each other make more billions. I do not believe in that. I do not believe in the country paying for transgender switcheroos. This is a you problem. And I do not agree for paying for the homeless to shoot up. These are things that I don't want to support. Now remember that quote that I said, if you don't like something, change it. Well, this is the third option. Every country sells a brand. America's for the ambitious and the entrepreneur. Canada sells safety and security. Now, I chose to go to Ecuador because to me, it is freedom. I'm responsible for me. People's problems are people's problems. They are not my problem. And the thing is, Ecuador is based on community, not systems. As corporations haven't taken over Ecuador like they've taken over the country of Canada. And what this is just to give you an option. If you believe in the things in Canada, more power to you. Pay more taxes, that's awesome. But if you don't, and you don't like where the money's going, and you don't like giving 62% of your life to goddamn taxes, well, there's always other options. And it's not just Ecuador. You got Argentina, Cambodia, Thailand. But the one thing you cannot make more of is your time, and you guard it with your life.